I'll let you know if stuff gets too shitty, and then we can actually we'll get you fixed and whatnot. All right. Are we live? We are live. Oh, yes. Actually, tell you what, you do the intro because this is your show.
Well, yeah, this is the Redeye stream number 59. We're over here on 40's channel today because my technical difficulties must have carried over from yesterday. Fucking, I do have Shitternet. That's an app title. Today I want to start out with the Bundy trial in Nevada. It ended in a mistrial, mainly because the federal prosecution omitted certain facts to the defense that would help the defense. So they shot themselves in the foot on this one. You have the article, 40. Do you want to read a little bit of it for the people?
Yeah, I can read it. This let me see here. This article is sourced from the Salt Lake Tribune. Oof. It's an interesting name for a newspaper. So the headline reads, Bundy Ranch standoff case declared mistrial. A U.S. judge in Nevada declared a mistrial Wednesday in the case against a states' rights figure, his two sons, and another man accused of leading a 2014 armed standoff with federal agents during cattle grazing dispute. My bad. Chief U.S. District Judge Gloria Navarro, is that related to the other Navarro that's maybe running California? Who knows? In a Las Vegas dismissed a jury seated last month for a long-awaited trial of Cliven Bundy, his son Ryan, and Amon Bundy, and a self-styled Montana militia leader, Ryan Payne. So do you want to... What's, like, the general background behind that story? Do you want to give them, like, a bit of an overview?
Yeah, so I believe it was about 2 years ago now. The Bundys had been grazing their cattle on BLM land pretty much, and they had been doing it for hundreds of years. The family, they've owned this land since before Nevada was founded.
Yeah.
And the government had told them repeatedly to stop grazing your cattle on this land. We own it, and there's tortoises or some bullshit that they want to protect. And the Bundys had land rights for the land deeded back before the founding of Nevada. And that was their argument, and they kept doing it. LM came out with sheriffs and cattle trucks and attempted to pretty much steal this man's cattle. The cattle he owned, for sure. Then they just started rounding up cattle.
Wow.
In response, he led a protest, which many militia members from other states showed up to, and they were armed. And yes, they pointed their weapons at BLM and the sheriff's department. They did not fire, it did not escalate. The BLM backed off. And then you fast forward about 6 months, his sons go to Oregon, and they lead a takeover of a wildlife refuge. Now, there was nobody in it at the time. They just showed up and set up camp.
Yeah.
And they got acquitted in Oregon a couple months ago. And so they were immediately, their father, Cliven, was at the airport in Portland. They arrested him. Federal agents did. And when the sons got released from Oregon, they were arrested and shipped back to Nevada. Round 2 of their trial, pretty much. And now it's ended in a mistrial, which I believe means they threw out the case, right?
As far as I know. But yeah. Whew.
But I mean, if you look at the map of BLM-owned land in the western U.S., it's 90% of Nevada. And these guys, these ranchers that have lived there since before the founding of the state, have land rights that date back to that time. So who is in the right? The federal government or the local landowners is what the basic fight is over.
Yeah, that's very true. Looking at the map, it literally is 90% of Nevada that is owned by the federal government, and this is fucking ridiculous. I didn't know Nevada was literally practically owned by the fucking government. like with this much, and BLM stands for Bureau of Land Management, but with this much land under the BLM's belt, I'm surprised there aren't more national parks. I'm surprised there aren't more like wildlife reserves or something like this. I mean, clearly, what are they going to do with all this land? What were they doing with all this land? Absolutely nothing, if I had to bet.
Yeah, pretty much. And MC's right. I saw in the chat. I forgot the death of Leroy Finnegan. He was one of the members that took over the refugee center.
Yeah.
Or refugee center. Refugees, sorry. He was trying to go to a talk in a neighboring county at the behest of the sheriff of that county. And he was shot to death at a roadblock there by federal marshals, I think.
Yes.
I'm not quite sure.
I remember that. I do remember that. I remember that being actually a huge thing. Not to understate it.
Yeah, no, and the federal, the person that shot and killed him, nothing ever happened to him either.
No, and I don't even think the man pulled his weapon out or anything, or at least not that I know of.
No, but he did. To be fair, because I know I could hear MC in my head. He's not here, but I could hear him. And he's probably. But he did try and run the roadblock. He did go around it, and he did try to run the roadblock.
Well, oh gosh, I don't know. I don't necessarily think that's grounds for shooting someone, but I mean, at the same time, you are trying to. I don't know. Well, I don't think that's grounds for shooting someone, to be quite honest. Running a roadblock.
Well, he should have bought a Trans Am then.
He should have got a Honda Accord. What can we say?
What movie is that from? I know the Trans Am is from Smokey and the Bandit, but
a commercial I saw.
Okay.
That's literally no, I'm not even kidding you. That's like one of 4 cars that I actually know of that exist. I don't know dick about cars. I'm a bad man. I'm not good at being a man at all.
Give you an F in your mom card.
Yeah, pretty much. So, oh god. So, should I continue reading? Actually.
Yeah, sure.
All right. It is the latest in a string of failed prosecutions in Nevada and Oregon against those who have opposed federal control of vast swaths of land in the American West. Jurors in Portland, Oregon acquitted 2 Bundy sons of taking over a U.S. wildlife refuge in Oregon for more than a month in early 2016 amid calls for the U.S. government to turn over public land to local control. In the Nevada case, Navarro faulted federal prosecutors for failing to turn over all evidence to defense attorneys, including records about the conduct of FBI and Bureau of Land Management agents during the standoff. Quote, "The government is obliged to disclose all evidence that might be favorable to the defense," the judge said. The case stemmed from an armed confrontation that clapped a decades-long, okay, I didn't realize decades-long was all one word, but dispute over Cliven Bundy's refusal to pay grazing fees. The 71-year-old rancher says his family has been grazing cattle for more than a century in the area and insists public land belongs to states, not the U.S. government. Government agencies began rounding up his animals. Oh my god. The 4 on trial were accused of enlisting armed gunmen to force federal agents to abandon the effort. Quote, "A mistrial is a very bad result for the government," said Ian Bertram, a University of Nevada, Las Vegas law professor who has followed the case closely. Bertram has cast the trial as a test of whether the U.S. attorneys could enforce their own land policy in western states where the government owns or controls vast expanses. Quote, "It looks even worse because it isn't the sort of jury nullification we've seen before, but actual incompetence or worse by the prosecution," Bertram said in an email. "It certainly erodes a lot of confidence in the federal government's motives."
Yeah, no, and MC, I know the FBI agent that fired was acquitted. That's what I meant by they did nothing about it. Just like in Arizona, they did nothing to the cop who killed the guy. You have this repeatedly. Unarmed civilians exercising their rights being gunned down. And the agents responsible walk away whistling Dixie. Give me a break, MC. Give me a break.
MC, get in here.
Yeah, get in here, MC. I'll give the link to you.
Let's have it out once and for all.
This is
Mod
it.
versus MC, the mud wrestle.
Oh yeah, those dirty statists versus
The
the
free
libertarians.
libertarians.
Yes, exactly.
When it comes to government, like federal government controlled land, how is it over there, Voice of One? Years and years, England had the King's Woods, right? You couldn't hunt in the King's Woods.
Yeah, we really don't have that anymore. I mean, I have never actually in my life heard an issue about government land and people. Never. I mean, the only real land governments own these days are forest parks and whatever land, their buildings are on. But no, I've never heard of like your American equivalent of what is it, eminent domain over here, So yeah.
Really? So if the public need arises, they can't take grandma's house for a new train track?
No. The only now that you mentioned train tracks, there was a bit of kerfuffle, I think, in the 80s about building some train or something, but again, nothing recent, no.
But okay, here you are, MC. No, but seriously, this guy walked away from shooting Leroy Finnegan also. Now he was trying to run a roadblock. Let's be fair.
Yes. What do you have to say, dirty statist?
Yeah, no, the dirty statist. Thanks. Well, I can say this: if Maddodge doesn't like this, well, it's just another case of jury nullification that he's so in favor of. The guy was tried, he was indicted, he went through the process. You just don't like the outcome, so this is now you're going to bitch?
Well, I'm an American. I get the bitch. I'm not going to go.
I didn't say you didn't have the right to bitch.
I'm not hunting the guy down. I'm just saying it's some bullshit.
You're the one who supports the whole idea of jury nullification. You think it's a great, grand, and glorious thing that people be given the benefit of the doubt. Well, if you're going to give people the benefit of the doubt, then that's got to apply to the police officer trigger too.
MC.
Yes.
Take your blood pressure meds. Calm down.
No.
Breathe. So
I go the opposite direction. MC, get some speed into you.
So what are we talking about, guys?
Bundy, do you the Bundy land argument?
Yes, I am aware.
Yes.
He was found innocent of one charge. Now we're waiting for the other charge, right?
Well, the judge declared a mistrial today. The judge did.
Well,
the judge declared a mistrial because the prosecution failed to provide the defense evidence, and so it didn't go to the jury.
What were we fighting? What was the charge?
Oh, they hired armed gunmen to scare federal authorities into submission, pretty much. So I don't know. That could be treason, right, MC?
Intimidation, I guess. They could have done it from racketeering. They probably could have brought him up on a racketeering charge. I don't know what the exact charge was.
Can I throw something out there?
Mm-hmm.
40. This is on 40's channel, right?
Yeah.
Do you give a fuck about what I say?
Please.
Okay, so if it was a whole bunch of niggers holding up cops, the Bureau of Land Management, do you think we'd have the same fucking attitude right now?
I would.
Well, not we, not the collective we, but do you think the general public, I honestly don't think so.
Well, That's an interesting question because it would depend on. I think it would depend on several factors, not the least of which who in the press got it and what they were feeling that day. Because I can see the press blowing this completely out of proportion and turning this into a race riot situation overnight. At the
Well,
same
MC
time, I can see them just ignoring it completely. You're correct.
like MC, like, could you imagine for a moment that a bunch of black dudes with AK-47s armed to the hilt, aiming rifles at police officers, BLM management. Do you understand what I mean? Like that shit would have gone the other way, and you know it.
It really it didn't go that way with back in the 70s with the trials in of the Black
MC,
Panthers in California. Now,
MC,
I understand what you're saying. I really do understand what you're saying.
get out of the way back machine.
Okay.
The political
no problem.
no. The political climate we're in right now.
Wouldn't
With the political, okay. There's two things about this. If the politician, if the president of the United States is Trump, it'll get blown out of proportion that Trump's trying to kill black people. If when this happened, of course, Obama I think was in the White House, in which case probably it would have gone the other way. That's how I honestly feel about it.
I'm just saying, a whole bunch of niggers doing that. Yeah, no, that would not fly. And then you would have the Black Panthers all up in arms and blah 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 and suck my cock and all this other bullshit. You know what I'm going for?
No, I know what you're going.
Fucking Jesse Jackson or some bullshit.
Well, I know exactly what you're going for, but the thing is that, I mean, if you want to talk about like the social justice press or whatever, like MC is talking about, for instance, I mean, I think the press would fall even more in the side of, states' rights and more in the side of individualistic rights than they would actual federal rights in this instance. I think they'd be all supportive of this group of people if they were black, or as you say, Negroes.
I'm just saying that I think, I don't know, everything I've ever seen when someone aims a gun at a cop, it doesn't end well, regardless of race.
Oh, no, I don't think
So why? Where is the boundary?
Okay. So I don't mean to put words in your mouth.
No, you good.
So, okay, so
I don't care.
Do you mean to say that if this was black people pointing guns at the cops, they would have been shot instead of white people?
Yeah. Probably. Because technically, if you raise a weapon at a police officer, that police officer has the right to shoot you for fear of his life.
Okay, you're right, Wolfshot. But you do realize that when this happened, if fighting would have broke out between the militia and the Bureau of Land Management, we would be in a civil war right now. That's why they stood down. They could have wiped them out. You're
why
right.
I specifically said police officers.
Well, in this case, all right. I mean,
come on. Like, if we would have shot one of them, like.
No. Let me explain what I was going with here. In the situation as it developed, the time period where they're talking about the rifles are being pointed at BLM. All right, all you had that was the only person that was armed was, I think, one sheriff and his deputy, and they were outgunned by quite a bit. Okay, in which case I don't think the police were stupid, whether they're black or white, would have been stupid enough to pull a gun and get riddled with bullets. Okay, now later on, as they pulled back, then everything got surrounded and it turned into, a standoff, but it was a standoff at distance. Okay, so I'm not as sure that it would have turned into a bloody mess as quickly as you think it would.
I retract my statement. I think things would have gone a lot different if it was a group of black men.
Like just
I don't
from
think-
like a. Sorry, go on,
Uh,
Maddodge.
Well, I don't think this is a racial issue. I think this is a federal authority issue, and the fact that the whole Western United States is owned by the BLM.
Yeah, but who the fuck gets off scot-free aiming a high caliber rifle at a cop?
These guys.
I
Yeah,
hoped.
I don't agree with that. They should all
Yeah.
be. Yeah, I don't agree with that.
I think it was a win for states' rights when it comes to arguing with the federal government. Somebody got them to back down. Kind of like somebody had to initiate the Boston Massacre. Really, that needed to initiate to spark the revolution that changed everything. If we could get a spark that changes stuff peacefully by backing
So
down.
you want to throw bombs and everything and start your
No.
next revolution and get your ass
No,
kicked
I don't.
again? Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't. No, MC, what I am saying is I want a peaceful drawback of federal authority. And this ended in peace other than Leroy Finnegan, and that was in Oregon. We're talking about Nevada right now because that's the trial that was thrown out.
Yeah, whatever you say, Kropotkin. I'm just teasing.
Well, no, but it has kind of helped. Trump is even selling some of the land that is federally owned. I mean, changes are happening slowly and peacefully.
I don't have they actually sold any of that land though. I think what he did is he removed the labels that some of this was protected national park stuff. I don't think he's actually sold any land.
Not yet, I don't think. I think you're right there.
All right, so he repealed some of that because it was just an attempt by Obama to unilaterally just declare this land off limits. Now, how that's being challenged in court and will be challenged in court. We'll have to wait to see how the courts actually decide in that, because like everything else that gets done at this point.
Could I bring a caveat to that?
Sure.
So I hunt deer with dogs, right? Or a couple of buddies of mine. I don't have the dogs, therefore whatever. And they want to pass a bill to ban hunting with dogs because the dogs get on land that isn't theirs and they end up getting shot or killed. Dog can't read.
That's true.
If the dog is out chasing a deer, he's doing his natural instinct to try and find it. I don't think that's moral justification to shoot the dog.
No, especially, I mean, I'm just speaking in terms of just general knowledge here, but I'm assuming that when you go hunting, traditionally this is out in the woods and not in the city, and thus not often encroaching on people's personal territory.
Oh, no. There's lots of land that's forested that people own.
But I don't know. There's not I'm not to say that I don't believe you, MC. I do. That I'm sure there's hundreds of thousands of acres that people own in the backwoods of fucking Mississippi or whatever we're talking about here. But I mean, what are the chances that these dogs are coming within biting distance of that person? That doesn't.
They're not
seem all that reasonable.
Okay, there's several things you got to look at. I mean, when you're dealing with farmland and stuff like that, there's a lot of feral animals out there, right? And dogs especially can be considered, feral if they're running into your lands, right? I agree with Woolshot in this case, all right, because it's fairly obvious when a dog is owned, because normally they have a collar on them, all right, versus when it's not. But by the same token, if a person says they felt they were threatened, right? Now, granted, if you've got 200 yards and you say I was threatened from 200 yards by a dog, that's a bunch of BS. But
well, that's generally what happens. Or there have been some cases, especially in North Carolina, where traps have been set, bear traps for a dog specifically for a dog.
Are these traps being set on private property?
I have no idea, honestly.
If it's in public lands, that's fucked up. If it's my private property, I can set whatever bear trap I want.
Well,
Well,
but
You have to be careful of that, Mad. You can't just set traps willy nilly. That has been adjudicated before.
yeah, I was about to say, if you're setting traps with the intent to actually harm someone's dogs that have been encroaching on your property, I'm willing to bet that is a crime of some stature.
Well, and I would like to look at it from the other way. So they had wolves on the endangered species list here in Oregon, and the wolf population has quadrupled. So now they're encroaching on lands in eastern Oregon and killing livestock.
Oh,
Should
man.
these ranchers be allowed to kill the wolf? Because when they do, they get arrested.
You're
Well,
asking
I mean,
the wrong person.
well, and I mean, even that, I mean, if you're trying to, maybe, I don't want to say draw a comparison, but I mean, hypothetically, even then, a wolf is not easily mistaken for some kind of hound. I mean, there's no.
Oh, no, yeah, not making a direct comparison. I'm just saying there's another case which goes the other way here in Oregon, where wolves are killing large livestock, cattle.
Why do you
And
think
the ranchers,
why do you think they're doing that?
because their population quadrupled and they don't have enough wildlife to eat, so they're encroaching on
Why do you
people's
think
property.
there isn't enough wildlife to sustain them?
Because they imported some of these wolves from Idaho. These are not native wolves. I mean, if you look at the actual case in Oregon,
Wolves
they
used to
took these
rule
wolves and
across the
relocated them.
country. I hate to say it to you until, we came along and said, fuck it. The reason
Fair.
why the wolves are encroaching on ranchers' land is because there isn't enough prey animals to survive on. Partly our fault, partly whatever, partly these nuts.
Well,
You know?
and there's a case to be, that's part of it, but it's also the fact that livestock tends to be an easy prey kill.
I don't know about that, MC. Have you seen a wolf try to take on a 300-pound bull?
I've seen a pack of them do it.
Yeah.
And they can do it pretty dang effectively.
But I have to say again, they were there. Technically, wolves were there first. We became the apex predator.
Okay.
Therefore, we have to take responsibility in culling herds, but not enough to where another apex predator is having an issue. So what you do is you reintroduce more deer or elk or fucking whatever gay shit into the land so they'll stop attacking farmers or farmers.
Well, actually, I would say something here. Wolf, you just said reintroduce deer. Well, maybe if you and many other hunters stopped shooting so many deer, there would be more deer for the wolves.
No,
no, don't fight with me about that.
Here in Arizona, no. Here, let me give an example of something, boys. Here in Arizona, they're reintroducing certain mountain goats into the region. Okay, the problem with reintroduction of any species, whether it's a predator species or whether it's a herbivoric species such as goats, is you can expect approximately 80% of the first group of that have been introduced to die off, be dead within a year.
It's
right?
true.
And then the next group that you put in right behind them, more or less on top of them, you can expect a 50% loss. And then after that, the third one is the one where, okay, the third reintroduction is where you generally start to see the population start to reestablish itself. It takes time, and sometimes an inordinate amount of time and effort to actually reintroduce a species that was depopulated from a region. All right, like I said, here in Arizona, we're starting to reintroduce these mountain goats. All right, and it's starting to take place now. As a result of that, we're starting to see species of predator that we haven't seen here for a long time. For example,
mountain lion.
Mountain lions. Well, we've always seen mountain lions here and there, but we've seen actual jaguars here. All right, South American jaguars. They've actually got a number of pictures of them. We recently had a bear incident downtown. Right, we haven't had black bear in Tucson in frickin' forever. So, I mean, nobody's hurt, nobody's gotten harmed by any of this. So at this point, it's a little of, you know, it's easily manageable. All right, now when you're dealing with ranches and how ranches go, when you start talking about wolves and things like that, you got to be a little bit careful because certain ranches, of course, are going to be in the area while other ranches aren't. So a specific rancher's livestock can be totally decimated while the rest of the ranchers are fine, which then, of course, puts them at a competitive disadvantage in those cases. Normally, what they try to do in those cases, the ranchers are working with the forest authorities, and they try to, you know, trap the wolves and then, you know, move them to a different range entirely.
Well, that's the problem is they're moving them into the eastern Oregon from Idaho and stuff like that. So that this is a wolf population that's not native to Oregon.
Maybe not initially, but I mean, you're going to have. I mean, these are things you're going. This is part of the growing pains. You're just going to have to learn to deal with it.
Or go hunt.
Yeah, but does the rancher have a right to protect his property and his livestock?
Sure, if he sees them attacking his livestock, he can shoot them.
Yeah.
But see, that's what they're getting arrested for. They're not leaving the ranch.
Hunting them down. There's a difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead, Wolfshot.
Like I said, the issue is that we have taken over as an apex predator. With that, we should be reintroducing more deer into that population. And as for the hunting thing, we have strict regulations on how much we can kill, how many tags we can purchase, and season limit.
Yes, because we all know every human being follows the law.
I'm not saying they don't. I'm saying like 2 weeks ago, we had a huge buck, massive size, just taken for his antlers and back straps. That's wrong. Illegally. That is fucking wrong. However, the majority of people who hunt responsibly. And the majority of hunters do contribute to conservation of land. So the deer and whatever is hunted propagates, whatever. I'm fucking drunk. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I just think the ranchers have a right to protect their property. If they're leaving the property and hunting them down, as you say, that's wrong. I agree with you there.
But hey, man, does that go for homeless people away as well? If ranchers see homeless people creeping onto their land, can they shoot them too?
Well, actually, you probably get away with that easier than the wolf. Seriously, in Oregon, you could defend your property if they're on your property and you're in threat. You know, you could shoot somebody. I've never done it, but you can.
And just think, with all that forest, there's no way they'd ever find the body.
Yeah, unless a freaking mountain lion drags it out into the middle of freaking the small town.
Well, that's why we also have, in certain states, we also have predator hunting. We have limits and tags to predator hunt. I've hunted several black bear. I've never gone after cougar because they're not around here. I've gone after bobcat. I mean, but it's not like I don't take it for the fur. I eat the shit. I have eaten bobcat. I've eaten bear. Bear is delicious.
Sounds good.
Well, yeah, we have tags for bear and mountain lion. I would love to actually have a stuffed mountain lion. I'd put it out on my porch. That thing would be badass.
Probably the one thing I won't hunt.
We should go hunting for mountain lion, Maddodge. We'll
Yeah,
get drunk
dude,
as shit, and we'll just go out there with our bows.
we're gonna get eaten.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Fly over to your funeral.
No, that's the one creature I probably don't want to hunt besides a moose. Moose are
Well,
fucking mean.
We'll use his kids as bait. It's okay.
No, I have a small dog though. That might work.
Oh yeah.
That could also be
Cougars
used
love
as bait.
small dogs. Yeah.
Or you could just hire a couple of homeless people and have them run through the forest and you could follow them.
Well, the problem with big cats is that they are extremely calculating. They're very intelligent, and you underestimate them, and you're like, it's like that raptor scene in Jurassic Park
Yeah.
where he turns around and she's right there, and he's like, clever girl. I don't want to be that. I don't want to. Bears are just like, "Bah."
Well, they don't sound very scary. You walk up on a bear and it just goes, "Bah."
Well, black bears aren't very scary. I've never been after like Kodiak or grizzly or something.
Sounds like you need to take a trip to Africa on a hunting trip.
Oh, fuck that. I'm not gonna pay those fucking assholes.
What, get
But-
a spear and a bow and arrow and go after a lion?
But I would, I would, okay, if I had the money and the whatever, I would shoot a lion, skin it, and eat it. I would.
I would.
So you would eat all these things and you won't eat dick.
I
Checkmate.
How is that a fucking checkmate? I don't eat. Like, you do not eat a dick, literally. So that's not a fucking checkmate, man. It's not like I'm gonna cut your dick off and fillet it and yeah, no.
You never know. It could be pan, sear fried. You don't know that.
No.
It could be like a scene out of Red Dragon, you know?
Yeah, you know what? Thinking about it, two of my dream hunts. I would love to hunt a wolf, and I would love to hunt a lion. That would be cool.
You're not gonna shoot that wolf. You're gonna be like, no, I can't do it.
No, I would shoot it. I would.
Oh, guess what, Wolfshot?
What?
Guess who just followed me?
Oh God.
The cunt stream just followed me.
Ooh,
I'm popular now.
you're important.
I'm important. You guys are losers. I'm climbing up the ladder, boys.
Oh no, we're fucking losers. We're gonna be in Medicare's movie or film.
I'm sorry, maybe I don't get this, but who's the cunt stream?
What?
The cunt stream is something that Schmeckle. You ever heard of Schmeckle? He's an ape gorilla thing.
No.
He runs a stream called the Cunt Stream, and basically it's fuckery.
It's dumpster fire. It's people gather around the trash can and throw in liquid.
I wouldn't mind that. Actually, what's funny is that for some odd reason, I don't know why, but I've been listening to a lot of Andy Worski lately, and he's mentioned the cunt stream like 4 or 5 times.
Because he's been on it.
Oh, he's been on it?
Oh
fuck.
yeah, he was on it last Saturday. We had a good time.
Oh, it's funny. Because I remember I watched a couple of streams where you were in it, and last time I checked, you guys had like a little over 1,000 subs.
Yeah, now we have 1,200 thanks to Jim Medicare.
Oh shit!
Oh yeah.
Holy fuck!
Yeah, it's growing.
Yeah, you guys are growing super fast. Holy shit!
Lesbian privilege.
Oh, it has nothing to do. Jeez.
God damn.
You know what your real problem is, Voice, with lesbians? I already know. It takes away that much more opportunity for you. And you are desperate. You are so desperate now.
Actually, I will tell you the truth. I would rather have my right hand than a woman. Because I know it will never betray me and it will never cost me anything.
And you know where it's been, right?
So I fully support lesbian. I fully support gay marriage. I support it fucking all. I would say, being serious, you could probably call me not really a MGTOW, but a hermit.
MRA. He's a MRA all the way.
No,
Oh.
I will admit I am part of a men's rights group. That is true.
See?
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
What a way to say
Don't you
it.
don't you
That's
dare
okay.
try
No,
to
I'm patronizing.
don't you dare try to be patronizing. You're from fucking California. You're the birthplace of cancer. I mean, fuck off.
He does have a point. You guys are trying to spread AIDS around again.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I can't really. I don't know what to say to that. I don't know what to say.
Curl up in
AIDS
that
of
flag behind you.
Yeah, AIDS-aphoria all the way. Just spreading AIDS, giving AIDS to everyone. Everyone gets AIDS. It's like usually when you enter usually when you like enter a country, you have to give them your passport, but no, you just get AIDS. So Maddodge, this is. Oh fuck me! You're gonna have to jump out again, Maddodge. You're Shitternet, man.
See, it's not your fucking mic, it's your internet, you goof.
Yeah, maybe not live in a place that like snows and shit.
Yeah, you could live in a place that's on fire all the time. Much better.
Yeah, whatever.
Come on down. Light 'em up, boys.
At least I'm gonna die with internet. What's he gonna die with? A wood stove? Is he gonna
Things
die
are
with?
pretty hot out here, but the internet's great.
Yeah, and that's just stopping.
He's gonna have to slowly freeze to death listening to his 27 kids.
You'll be online. There'll be smoke filling in the background. Well, I think it's getting close, but I think I'm all right.
With so much weed in California, 40 will be out fucking sniffing it going, yeah.
Put another bale out there. Come on, guys.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. You think it's for forest fires, but we're just burning like vast croplands of just marijuana. That's all it is, really. We're just all getting high.
It would explain a lot, wouldn't it?
Well, fuck it. This was Maddodge's so. So, what do you guys want to talk about?
Why are you smoking a pipe? I say I would buy you pass a pipe. What?
Who saw Star Wars?
Oh, not yet.
No.
I haven't seen it yet.
Have you seen it, Wolf?
Yes, I have.
Is it good?
I enjoyed it.
Do they blow up another Death Star for like the 60th time?
I'm not saying shit. I will say the best part of that fucking movie was Carrie Fisher. I cried like a fucking baby.
Why? She didn't die.
What?
He said why she didn't die. God, you're
What the fuck's going
the
on over
voice.
here?
You're something else today, man.
God damn.
I'll be right back, guys.
Sounds good. Well, fuck. This was supposed to be fucking Maddodge's shit. I don't know what to do.
Oh god, there's another furry.
Quick, think of every racist term you can think of.
Oh.
You white fuck.
You fucking honky.
Cracker.
I bet
Don't
you
make
eat
me
potatoes.
Don't make me say the hard R. And don't make me say the hard R word. We all know
Nigger.
that word. Oh, there we go.
Congratulations, you're just being demonetized.
Oh, like I give a shit about demonetization.
Now, before we get started, can we just have a little moment of silence? Hashtag Rip Kilroy.
Oh my god. Don't even get me started on that fucking dumpster fire. Kilroy and Crown T. Oh my god, dude. I'm just so hard right now. I'm so hard. This political intrigue, this is what's getting me through until this next Game of Thrones season.
40?
Yes.
FYI, too much information. We don't need to know your arousal limit at this time.
I don't fucking care. I'm fucking diamonds right now. This is some good shit that's happening. Let's talk about Kilroy. So it's not gonna fucking happen.
Nope.
Jesus Christ. So you guys are Wolfshot, were you on this or I actually don't think I watched that stream. You guys all know about like the whole Kraut thing, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys know that he literally deleted everything on his channel and he's going completely off the grid now?
Yep.
That's fucking good shit, dude. That speaks fucking volumes. I love the fact that as soon as he issued an apology, it literally just all went downhill from there, and literally no one believed him.
Did you see the shit about Jeff Holiday?
On Warskis?
He doxed
Borski's the Kumite, like
he doxed Coach Red Pill.
Oh yeah. I saw that, and also there was who's the dude with the alien head? Zephyr? Or no, Zeph. It was Zeph did a live stream, and what he basically did is he went through basically the entire log of the Discord, and apparently you cannot edit the log. If you were to edit the log,
bullshit.
well, I was gonna say if you were to edit the log, it'd have to be through Photoshop or something.
Yeah, well, don't trust that.
No, he can with Discord servers you could do a clean sweep of everything. And that's what the fuck he did. I could tell you that for a fact.
Yeah, because Benny used to be in the trailer park, remember?
Yeah, I got the fuck out. And you can ask me any questions you want and I will answer them.
You used to be in Kraut and T's server?
No. I used to associate with the trailer park. I was like attached to Liz and Seth for like a little bit. And what happened was as the drama first started like a couple months ago, I said, look, you two are fucking up. I need to distance myself. So they accused me of giving DMs to Tonka and Failure. They basically hinted that I doxed and threatened Zeph's daughter, which I don't know how the fuck I could do that through a phone. And recently, Zeph actually messaged me, wanted to hear my side of the story. And I'm just like, he is so fucked at this point that he's literally going to anyone that would try to even help him. And you want to know why? Because not only is everyone against him, Paul is after him. They're looking for his face.
And Benny knows what he looks like.
And everyone is sending me pictures like, is this him? No. Is this him? No. Like,
wow.
I was so attached that it felt so relieving to get out of that toxic area. It felt like a tumor like got ripped off my back, and now I can stand up straight.
Yeah, well, I mean, the craziest part to me is the fact that he is literally bringing the whole fucking castle down on everyone's head. Going through, like you said.
Okay,
I mean,
first off, let me stop you there. You wish he was in Castle. Let's just get that straightforward. It's a double wide trailer. All right.
He's bringing the entire double wide trailer down on everyone's heads. And the crazy part is that he's literally taking everyone down with him, and he's taking as many people down as he possibly can. Like, he's on a fucking warpath. It's incredible to be quite honest. I mean, the fact that he went through the log and was actually showing the fact that, or even he revealed personal DMs, which I'm not entirely so. DMs are so easily faked, especially on Twitter or something like that. I don't know how real those are, but the fact that it's incriminating enough to actually imply the fact that Kraut and T was actually not only complicit but active in trying to dox people, the fact that Kraut and T took his entire channel down and is literally flying under the radar, like he did with Rage After Storm. I mean, it really speaks volumes, really.
Well, his doxing of Rage After Storm should have ended any association with him to begin with.
Oh yeah.
No, they wanted to keep fucking going. They wanted to see how far they could get before they get caught. And guess what?
I mean, they were already caught. I mean, come on. I mean, how stupid can you be? Everybody saw what Crowd. I mean, everybody saw what Crowd did.
This is the fucking trailer park we're talking about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the part that's crazy to me is the fact that they went to such lengths as to be intricate enough to actually dedicate entire Discord servers to doxing people. Like, apparently, Coach Red Pill had his own Discord server in which they were gathering information about him, although, albeit, it's not that hard to find information about him, you know. Enough said there. Let's not press that dumpster fire of a fucking issue. But I mean, the fact that they went to such lengths to have multiple Discord servers that some people, even Braving Ruin's little spies, his minions, and infiltrated into the highest ranks of these servers. Not even they got a look at some of these servers. They didn't even know some of these Discord servers existed. So I mean, it's fucking amazing the lengths that they went to actually try and slander and dox people.
Well, the thing I thought was when that caught me off guard was when I was listening to the Hard Bastard do a stream on it, right? And he was showing the links to where they're talking to a New York Times reporter. You're talking to a mainstream media reporter who the mainstream media has shown that they don't give a rat's patootie about you, me, or anybody else. They're just looking to get some juicy story, and then if they destroy people's lives, they don't care. They don't care. I mean, if they don't care about destroying the lives of the powerful, when they make up stuff, do you think they're going to bat an eye if they make up a story about you? They're the same group of people that went after PewDiePie, all right, claiming he was a Nazi, for crying out loud, right? And they got, and as much as it disgusts me, they really got a lot of that to stick on it.
Yeah.
You know, and so to use this kind of stuff, and that's the kind of tactics that are going to be used. I mean, it's in a lot of ways it's very frightening.
Yeah.
Because all they have to do is level an accusation, talk about unnamed sources. And how do you fight an unnamed source?
Yeah.
How do you go back and say, okay, show me what you're talking about? Because they can claim evidence, and nobody ever seems to be able to actually look at the evidence half the time, and it's really disturbing to me.
Yeah. And one of the craziest things is that, did you guys by chance listen to Coach Red Pill's kind of theory on the situation as to why the Wall Street Journal reporter was actually contacted?
No, what do you say?
So he had this very odd theory. And I have to say, I'm not a huge fan of Coach Red Pill. I think he's very sleazy. I don't think he's very honest. Some of the videos, I binged watched some of his videos this morning, and I have to say, not a huge fan of the guy. But I think there's some actual credibility behind this theory. And that is, they had contacted this mainstream reporter to take down some of the bigger targets they had in mind, such as Black Pigeon Speaks and Paul Joseph Watson. I mean, it was actually, funny enough, apparently some actual reporters had gotten close to finding out who Black Pigeon Speaks was, because literally not a single soul on Earth knows who this fucking dude is. But there was a pack of reporters that actually got close to finding out who it was. So this reporter was going to publish hit pieces on some of these bigger people. Meanwhile, some of the smaller people, like, what was her name? Aiden Paladin, stuff like people like this, Braving Ruin, Kraut's crew was literally going to take them down themselves. And that was essentially the theory that he had kind of, I don't want to say devised, but that was the theory that he had put forward. And funny enough, that actually makes a lot of sense.
I mean, that's a possibility. You obviously can't deny that that's a possibility, but I really think it has more to do with the fact that they were all enamored with the fact that they got to talk to a New York Times reporter.
Yeah.
It's a celebrity thing, and they want to hobnob and be part of the in crowd. It's like high school on a grander scale.
Yeah. Well, apparently this reporter is actually very famous. This I already forgot her name because it's so damn forgettable. But
Amy something. I don't remember her last name.
yeah. Well, it's not Schumer. But apparently this lady had won 2 Pulitzer prizes. Two Pulitzer prizes. And that really says something, not to her her journalistic integrity, but that really says something about the way she gets journalism done, shall we say? So,
well, in what way? I mean, well, it depends. I mean, she's got notoriety. But,
yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say that says anything about her tactics necessarily, specifically, per se. I do think that a New York Times reporter is automatically suspicious in my mind, only because of the number of times they've been caught literally fabricating stories. And once again, I don't know this Amy chick from Adam, all right? But by the same token, I have seen so much from the New York Times, so people like Friedman and several of the others, and they've been caught literally fabricating stories, fabricating out of whole cloth, saying that they've done interviews with people that don't even exist, right? And they've been caught doing this kind of stuff. And the New York Times have been caught a number of times, including some of their quote unquote Pulitzer Prize winning authors.
Yeah.
So I mean, I personally have a very, and I understand this, I have a very jaundiced view of the New York Times, just like I have a jaundiced view of the Washington Post. And my jaundiced view of the Washington Post isn't something that's just, it isn't because of Bezos or owns it, or and he's in bed with the CIA or anything else. My jaundiced view is because of Woodward and Bernstein. Because Woodward and Bernstein have been living off their reputation and some of the other crap that they've done, all right, that people have tend to forget about, right? They just remember, oh, they took down Nixon. They were the ones talking to Deep Throat, which that was legitimate reporting. There's no denying that. But their attitude to out all CIA agents, I haven't forgotten that yet.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, any way you want to look at it, I think it's as you said. I mean, this is someone who is, I mean, I don't want to say official, but this is someone who is somewhat official. This is someone who works for an actual publication. Now, whether that publication is failing and going into massive crippling debts and laying off half their staff, who's to say? But nevertheless, this is someone who's considered a credible source in the eyes of the public versus, just being a pleb on YouTube. This is something else in its entirety. I think they just saw an opportunity to hit the mainstream and to hit it running.
Well, I think they saw an opportunity to be hobnobbing with the quote unquote big boys. Look at me. And I think that's an aspect of it. But there's a reason they call the New York Times the paper of record. Okay. And people don't realize this. All the federal government, they get in any of their large, and all the embassies have delivered the New York Times, all right, free of charge to their staff. Okay, and this goes back to, a long time ago, but that's one of the reasons why they're considered the paper of record, because they are always read. All right, they are one of the U.S. government's primary sources of information flow in the State Department.
Well, they should update that. Is my mic better now?
Mm-hmm.
But they shouldn't listen to the New York Times anymore. That just, update that, and maybe Drudge Report and some other shit. Read that instead.
Jesus
No.
Christ, call me fucking kids first off.
Oh my god. They're not even crying, Dick. Or do you like? Were you yelled at and shocked every time you made a sound as a kid?
Yes.
Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I actually was.
Look, my
I
parents
would say-
my parents always did this to me. They always said, if you're gonna cry, you better have a damn good reason to cry.
Yeah.
I would say this about it. I mean, we're all going after Crichton T and his gang, but how many, honestly, do you think will say anything to Jeff Holiday
Oh no,
about
Jeff
his
Holiday,
doxing?
he's already in the shit.
Yeah, I would.
Is it?
Hell. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
hell,
they're going after Jeff Holiday hard.
No, not
Are
even
they?
that. Hold on. One of the things that happened today during the Kumite, Mems fucking showed up in the chat, tried to defend Jeff, knowing that he did fuck up.
Whew. Yikes.
No, it's not going okay for Jeff. It's not even going okay for his wife. And guess what? I like his wife. She's always been nice. But
His fucking wife.
You need to stand up. You need to stand up and just say, yeah, he has fucked up. Just admit you fucked up. Like, Jesus Christ, you got fucking caught. Admit it.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? I have a feeling that if Kraut had just simply admitted to the fact that he wanted to dox people, yeah, he would have gotten shit on. He would have gotten shit on hard. They would have tore his jaw open and shit right down his goddamn throat. But here's the thing. He'd probably still come out of it with at least a shred of dignity. He probably wouldn't have to delete everything on his channel, delete his apology, because even during his apology, people called him out and told him he was a piece of shit and that he was lying, and he knew he was lying, and it was recorded that he was lying, even during his apology. Like if people just fess up to it, there'd be no reason for all this bullshittery. You know, accusations. Sorry.
I blame the trailer park. If you associate with them, you're gonna get fucked no matter what. And that's what the fuck happened. That's what happened with Crowd, and that's what happened with Jeff.
Well, I think there's another aspect of this, and I don't know Jeff, and I don't really know Kraut, and I don't know how much they rely on any kind of revenue that these streams and YouTube gives them. All right, I know that Jeff's big enough to get a significant, what I would consider significant revenue. All right, and when your livelihood, all right, is threatened, or you have to change your lifestyle because of something that's from an entertainment perspective. This is why I think this is why I think that they're celebrities. I mean, a lot of people don't think of these people as celebrities per se, but in reality they are, because all it takes is for them to make a misstep from an entertainment perspective, all right, and they're done. And that misstep could be anything. Now, obviously, in this case, I mean, it's obvious that they're way wrong in what they were doing here. I'm not trying to defend. Do not misunderstand me. All right, but any little misstep when you're an entertainer can cause you to basically, if you lose the entertainment value, you lose subscribers in this case, right? You've lost a ton of revenue. It wouldn't surprise me if Jeff right now is trying to stop the bleeding.
Look, I've been on streams with Crowd. I've been on streams with Jeff. I'm not gonna say like they're the best people, but then they were nice, you know. But this is a major fuck up for them, and they just don't know how to react to it, in which I could understand to a point. But when there's evidence that you done this, that you said this, just admit it. All right? Just it's not that fucking hard.
Oh, I don't disagree with you, Benny. I don't disagree with you at all. All right. I mean, you've got to, if you do something wrong, come clean. Explain what you did. Do it totally. All right. Don't try to hide anything, because at that point, you got to understand, if you get caught doing something wrong, you have the microscope on you. All right. They're going to look at every single little detail. That's the way entertainment society has always been. All right. Once you fall from grace, the entertainment world is absolutely malicious, and they're merciless. All right, until the next, until they're done feeding on your corpse, right? Normally what they're looking for is a new corpse to feed on, and people's lives have been destroyed. I mean, people have committed suicide over these kind of allegations, right? There are people who aren't even used to it. Not too long ago, back in the Obama administration, there was an admiral who was accused of wearing one of his medals with a V device that they claimed he didn't earn, that he wasn't authorized to wear the V device, right, for valor. 2 days later, he walks out in the middle of a freeway to get hit by a car because he couldn't handle the fact that of the public scrutiny calling him and his service dishonorable. Right now, I grant you that that's a rare case and it doesn't happen very often, but these things do happen. People's view of themselves can become their total world, you know.
I think with Kraut, not to bring us back from the very dark road MC let us down again. Where, you know, how much, I think with Kraut and a few others, it was definitely ego. They got to a stage where they thought they could do anything and get away with it. But I think there was also a group inside that group who were just malicious, who just wanted to stir shit. You know.
Yeah, definitely. So,
how big was Kraut?
125,000.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
so he was way big then.
Well, he was around for a while, and like the thing was, I used to be in the server, not the doxing server, but he had a different server for like, you know, like all of his fans and whatnot. But it was basically dead, and I left it like several fucking months ago. But I just didn't expect it to like blow the fuck up at this point. Look, like with the whole Kraut fucking situation, he it's one of those things where you just have to take your fucking you have to take your beatings at this point.
Yes,
that's what he has to do. If he has to leave and, you know, start up anew or whatever, fine. But
yeah,
he needs to know that he did fuck up.
Is Kilroy actually cancelled at this point?
It's hashtag Rip Kilroy.
Because I know Stick said he was still going the other day, so.
Oh.
No, basically Base Mama on the on some black guy stream, she basically fucked up like really fucking badly.
God, what the fuck did she do?
She basically dodged most of the questions, and she had someone else basically talk for her, and then Andy Worski showed up, and she just shut right the fuck up.
Dude, okay. So, oh my god. This is turning into such a shit show. It's so incredible how Kraut's server has bled into the Kilroy event. It really is. So, one of the funny things that Coach Red Pill, and gosh, I don't mean to like fucking use him as a credible source, dear God, but one of the things Coach Red Pill said was that essentially Based Mama was using some of the people from the alt-right to literally bleed them of money so they could get the Kilroy event up and running. And then, funny enough, a lot of people like Millennial Woes and such, they actually got disinvited from the Kilroy event. After they had given such an incredible amount of money, they had their fans contribute to the Kilroy event. And then as soon as they get all their money, lo and behold, these people from the alt-right suddenly get disinvited. And next thing you know, it turns into a circle jerk, which is essentially just Base Mama and her friends. And everyone's noticing this. Worski dropped out. Computing Forever. I can't. Dave Cullen. Dave Cullen dropped out.
Well, Dave Cullen has a reason, because, like, isn't his mother? Did his mother just pass away recently?
Oh, maybe. I don't know, to be honest.
No, that's why I heard that. Like, he dropped because his mother passed.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Is Styx Hexenhammer still going?
Well, that's what he said the other day. So
honestly, she might. I guarantee you that she's probably going to cancel the entire event by next month. I honestly think that's going to happen.
She fucking has to. I mean, Tim Pool dropped out as well. And then Sargon of Akkad, who thought about going, also fucking dropped out. And he's not going. And then Andy Worski, I don't know if I said Andy Worski, but he's not going. I mean, you're losing all your heavy hitters. It's going to be Based Mama, who has 10,000 some odd subscribers and all her friends in a giant circle jerk. I mean,
no, it's not going to be a circle jerk, all right? There's going to be a ball pit.
Oh my god. The fucking ball pit. Don't. Oh, this is what was that called? DashCon. This is fucking DashCon all over again, dude.
Hang on, I thought that was a meme.
No, that
was a real
legit
thing.
That is a legit thing.
There's
They were going to throw people in a ball pit. Was that the idea?
So basically the ball pit meme all started with DashCon. DashCon was like basically Tumblr meets real life. And so there's a bunch of social justice warriors that had like stupid gay little talent shows. And one of the things they had was a fucking ball pit. And the thing is, it was like a kiddie pool filled with stupid plastic balls from an actual ball pit. And the worst part, someone shit in the ball pit.
Oh.
Okay?
Starbucks.
Amazing. That's
Someone
amazing.
shit in the fucking ball pit. Right? That's the entire meme behind the ball pit. It's, oh my god. Fucking disaster, dude.
If you apply for Kilroy right now, you get 5 minutes in the ball pit with Sargon. Did he shit the ball pit? We won't know.
I just can't fucking believe it, dude. Like, these last, like, 2 weeks have been a fucking clusterfuck.
No, it's been very eventful, and I have enjoyed every single moment of it.
No, but my question is, if she cancels, who gets that 60 grand?
It has to go back.
Oh, well, actually, one of the funny things is that people are already starting to wonder where money is going. Because they're having to pay so much for security, but the thing is that not all that money is going to security, and so they're kind of wondering, I think what was the number that was being thrown around? Like
40,000.
Yeah, I think it was 40,000. Yeah, I think you're right, Benny. There's like 40,000.
40.
Yes. Yeah.
40. I said this to you days ago. Look at the legal fees. Look at Base Mama's taking. On legal.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna let you know this. There's already tons of people asking for refunds.
Oh my god. Dude, it's totally gonna be the next fucking DashCon. It's gonna be a fucking nightmare.
Oh, without fucking doubt.
Oh my god. Dude, I am so ready for this to happen.
And you want to know the worst thing was, like, at least with me, was when I first heard about it, when it was first, like, it was like right after VidCon, and the idea fucking came up. I was actually excited for it. I was like, yeah, a con all to us, all to our shitlords and all that. We're excited for it. But then now, not even like a few months after it, you basically just cocked it all up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember I heard about Kilroy about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and like I actually got pretty fucking excited. It's just like, there's real potential here. This isn't not Dash. What was the place where fucking all the YouTuber people got together? It was
VidCon.
Oh, VidCon, that's it. It wasn't VidCon where it was the stupid thing where, there's 10 panels and they're all filled with SJWs. You'll get actual, like, political diversity, maybe some people from the alt-right, some people that are centrist, maybe have some people from the left on, it'll actually be fucking fruitful, and it'll actually be worth watching. It's not going to be a fucking circle jerk. But look what it goddamn turned into. Fuck's sake, man. There's no coming back. It's fucking trash.
Well, do you think that all this happened because they were just this is the first time they've ever done anything like this, and they were just inexperienced and made a lot of mistakes?
That and the fact that they did set it up as a company. It should have been just here. Put it in this fund. We'll hire the a venue, we'll hire the security, and everybody can show up. But instead, they set it out as a business. That's why you had the NDA and all that shit, because they wanted to run it next year and the year after. So I would say that at some point, Base Mama was looking at the profit and whoever else was running it could make from this thing. Because remember, they wouldn't be doing it for free. So I'd say it was a bad business model, just pure incompetence. They've never set anything up before. And then, of course, all this other shit that has came out. So
what I'm saying is they should have got like an actual fucking legal team. You know what I mean? Like actually have good lawyers and all that, so they can actually plan this shit out. Like
well, they didn't need to do any of that. All they had to do was hire a pub and everybody meet at the pub, and they can, one person at a time go up on stage and talk.
Yeah,
no, you don't need legal teams to put something like this together, right? I mean,
what you think their fucking like NDA or whatever it was actually fucking good? You
no.
It for 3 years.
I don't think that they should have had an NDA whatsoever, right? What I was referring to was it. All right, a lot of the things that I go to are these trade shows in various hotels or in large convention centers, right?
Yeah.
And I talk to our marketing people, right, all the time for a variety of reasons, not the least of which is they constantly make promises that can't be kept. So I mean, it's just it gets kind of crazy, but you learn some things. You learn what it takes to hire the hotel, to rent the ballroom space, and things like that, right? And to put these kind of, I mean, this is the same kind of event that you're having where you have people coming in and they're giving speeches and everything. You don't need, I mean, you can make it complicated if you want, but there's no need to do that.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things that was kind of ticking people off was not only the NDAs, but also the fact that people were, I'm trying to see if I can remember this. Certain people were allowed to actually choose what kind of panels they wanted to participate in. Like they were able to choose their discussion panel. And a lot of the people were actually denied that. So like a lot of the heavy hitters were like, oh yeah, you can have whatever panel you want to be a part of. Okay, I want to be part of XYZ panel. No. So there was a lot of disincentive for a lot of these heavy hitters to actually come out and participate in the panel.
Well, but that goes back to be honest, that goes to inexperience. You got to understand who you're. I hate to say this, but your heavy hitters you're going to cater to.
Yeah,
they're going to get different treatment than somebody that has 100 subs. It would only make sense that you at least cater to them to some degree, right?
Yeah.
So to deny them something like that would be, that's just silly. Now, at the same time, what they should have done is they should have involved these people ahead of time into coming back saying, okay, what panels do you guys suggest, right? And then what you do is you take the panels that they suggest, you on your own figure out, okay, what panels are we actually going to have, what time slots are we going to use, and then go back to them and say, this is what we're proposing. What are your issues with it? Now, when you do, you got to understand, not everyone's going to agree, right?
Yeah.
That's just the nature of the beast. So you're going to listen to them, and you're going to modify it as it becomes appropriate, right? But you say this is the intended event. This isn't 100% etched in stone, right? But we are carving it in wood. You know what I mean? So that people understand that this is the plan at this point in time, so that they can take a look at it. All right, and so that with like 2 months out, you come back and say, here's what we're going with. So that everybody's on the same sheet of music. No one is surprised about what has happened. Where we've gone with it. Right? Like I said, these things, it can be tedious, and there's a lot of groundwork and grunt work you got to do in the background, right? But it's not rocket science, you know.
Yeah.
It really isn't.
Yeah. That's one of the I don't know. That's one of the slightly more frustrating things that I find about the Kilroy event is that you think that they would actively seek out people that have organized activities previously, and they would ask for, if not advice, then they would outright hire them. And that's maybe what this missing 40 grand is going to, by any stretch of the imagination. I don't know. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I can understand how there would be difficulties trying to get YouTubers to all meet in one place in Phoenix, Arizona, which by the way is a shit city. But trying to get them all to come to like one specific spot on the fucking globe, it's like trying to get cats to stand in a goddamn line. I mean, you got to understand there's going to be an incredible amount of difficulty. You should have had a year plus to actually try and actually think this through and decide who's going to be there, who's going to be part of what panels, who's paying for what. Are you going to be paying these YouTubers? You know, there's even inconsistencies as to, are people getting paid or not? You know, there's such a wild degree of bullshit that it's almost not surprising that it's falling
once
apart.
again, you're going to have to try and cater to some of the larger events. To be honest, there are certain cities that do conventions and smaller conventions like this better than others. Right? One of the huge advantages of Las Vegas is the fact that it has so many flights in and out of it, and the flights are relatively inexpensive. Right? Which is why everybody wants to go there. Right? Well, I mean, everybody wants to go there for gambling, but I mean, because of that, you know, you have a lot of opportunities there. Now, the cost of doing a show there, all right, is not insignificant. It would have been definitely more expensive to attempt to purchase a hotel ballroom kind of environment to have the event than it would be to do it in like Phoenix, Arizona. All right, so that's got to be counterbalanced to a degree. Benny left. I was going to ask him a question. It seems Benny's been around for a lot longer than dang near any of the rest of us. I mean, it would be interesting to hear his impressions of this and why he hasn't put himself in tried to put something like this together.
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, for fuck's sake, so many people have been around for such a long time, it surprises me. Like, for instance, I was watching, no, hold on. Oh, that's right. I was watching a replay of one of Ogre's streams that he had done a long, long time ago. The Ogre was in a stream with Razor Fist and the Britisher. And I jumped in like halfway through that stream, and I'm listening to them all talk, and then sure as fucking shit, I hear Cabbage go, "Oh yeah, you know, that's what British people do," you know, in that fucking voice of his. It's like, is that fucking Cabbage speaking with the Britisher and Razor Fist? I was just like, what the fuck? Like, Cabbage and Benny have apparently been around for a really long fucking time. Like, I was genuinely surprised to hear the fact that he'd been in a stream with Kraut. That's pretty incredible, actually. He gets around.
I mean, I've watched several of Kraut's videos. I was not a huge fan of his. I was subscribed to him at one point. All right, but then I found his content kind of tedious, so I stopped watching it. But so to be honest, this whole thing kind of surprised me when it all hit and it all came, you know, collided together. Now, this guy, Coach Red Pill, right? To me, that's a name. I have not watched any of his. Well, I've seen parts of one of his videos because it made me curious, so I went and started to watch it, and I was like, "This is boring," and I didn't go any further. I didn't binge watch like you did.
Yeah.
So that's about the most I know about the guy, right? Other than that, I have no idea what his philosophy is, and I frankly don't care. But then again, I don't care what most people's philosophies necessarily are. You know?
Are you saying you don't care? Oh.
No, I don't care. Not about you boys. Not about Maddodge. Not
Oh,
about
you're such a bitch.
okay. And no, I do like to listen to other people's points of view, and if they're saying something that I think is incorrect, I will try to jump in the chat and say something, you know, which is how I ended up actually on a stream with Ogre, because they were talking about the Intel services, and they don't know freaking anything about the Intel services or how they were developed or how, you know, what their rules are within the U.S. Intel services, Intel,
Yeah.
and how it works. Right now, I mean, we for example, one thing that everyone keeps calling an Intel service is the FBI, and the FBI does have Intel elements, but their primary purpose is not information gathering. Their primary purpose is law enforcement. Okay, they are responsible for counterintelligence within the United States. That is also true. All right, but they're not your standard Intel service. All right, there are separations that were created to prevent a lot of the abuses that frankly are being shown today, because which have happened as a result of the Patriot Act more than anything else. People take a look at the FBI now and they say, okay, look at all this corruption and how they're treating Trump and what they were doing in the background. And there's a lot of corruption there. Okay. But the reason all that happened, all right, was because of the breaking down of the rules and roles, all right, that were established early on due to the Patriot Act pulling those walls down.
Mm-hmm.
And if we go back to putting those walls back up, will Intel suffer? In a certain sense, yeah. All right. I mean, those walls do inhibit cross-channel information sharing. Okay. However, you know, you got to take the good with the bad. You know, do you want an overarching intel agency that runs around rogue? No. Okay. Well, this is the price. Is you're going to miss elements because you're not sharing data across platforms. That's just the way things are.
Yeah. Sorry, go on, Maddodge.
Oh no, I was just gonna pretty much agree with MC. If what he's saying is we should get rid of the Patriot Act, then I'm with you, MC.
Well, that's not to mention that, you know, the Army, the Air Force, they all have their own little I don't want to say intelligent. They have their own intelligence aspects, I should say. You know, and so there's walls in between just the branches of service as well.
Not really.
Oh, not really?
No, not for intel between branches, no. There's focuses. You got to remember, intel for the military intelligence falls under the purview of the NSA.
Ooh, I did not know that.
That's what the NSA is. It's military intelligence. That's why that's why there's always a uniformed officer as the director of the NSA. They are a member of the military.
Oh, fuck me. I think this is one of those things that I just kind of like never learned. Like for a long time, I didn't know what a couple was. Right.
Yes. Yes. The elements, the NSA's intel is U.S. military intelligence assets. They control all of it. Now, how they delineate that and what they allow from a local level, what I mean by local level, I'm talking about individual units, all right, like when you're talking divisions and things like that, you have different sectionalizations that go on. For example, you have tactical intelligence and then you have strategic intelligence. Right? NSA headquarters is obviously more interested in the strategic intelligence over the tactical intelligence. So from that perspective, you know, the Army doing tactical kind of intelligence networking and so forth, that tends to stay at a local kind of a level. All right. But what you're looking for in those elements is basically, okay, where's the enemy? How do I find the enemy? How do I kill the enemy? All right. What assets do I need to do that? All right. So they're very narrowly focused in small little areas. Strategic intelligence is a more broad-based approach to things where you're looking at a broader condition. You're looking at the enemy's, political infrastructure, right, and so forth.
Yeah, but isn't the separation between all these branches there for a reason? So the Patriot, so the Patriot Act removed that temporarily because of extenuating circumstances.
Well,
now
it wasn't that. All right, here. Okay. How do I put this to make it so you can understand? The Patriot Act basically broke down the walls because everyone was saying, well, you have all these dots, how come they didn't connect the dots? Okay. Well, the reason you didn't connect the dots were because people didn't know that the dots needed to be connected. Okay. All right. People, there are ways to go. If for example, the CIA needed something from or some information asset from, let's say, the FBI or from the NSA prior to the Patriot Act, okay, they would have to know what they were looking for, and they would have to know where they can go to that other agency to get that information. Okay. So basically, it was very specific and very targeted. You have to know what your targets were. You have to know where they were. You have to know what assets that you need from that other agency to actually look at this. You weren't being handed, okay, we'll just plow through this database and kind of see what you can find. Okay, and this is true of all three branches. If NSA had a reason to look for something that they thought that the FBI may have, right, they would have to request it, but it would have to be a very specific request and a very narrow request in what they were looking for. And additionally, the people making that request had to go up the chain of command all the way basically to the top at a specific level in order to go across the wall and back down again and back and forth, right? So you end up with a stovepiping of information flow to an extent. Right, but it's there to prevent agencies from doing what's happening now. All right, for example, one of the problems that's happening now is the CIA is able to use NSA assets just by walking in and saying, okay, we have a need to use these assets for what we're going to do. Well, you're not telling us what you're looking for. We don't care. We don't have to tell you. We're just going to use your assets in order to sit there and gather intelligence that we're looking for. That was never what they were supposed to be allowed to do. Okay, there was a reason why the drones were an NSA asset and the CIA had none. The Patriot Act is what allowed the CIA to gain access, specific access of drones that they themselves directly controlled.
Yeah, and that's that. I think those boundaries need to go back up. You need a warrant to be able to wiretap somebody or get their emails, in my opinion. But this has been a by 40 ounce because my computer sucks and the weather up here in the Cascades is messing up my internet. I appreciate it, 40. Hopefully next time we won't have to do that. Hopefully my internet will be working good. I appreciate it.
Don't
any
count
last
on
thoughts, you guys? Yeah, I know. Yeah, right. We might.
Your house will be on fire. You'll be seeing the smoke-filled room.
But I appreciate it, man. I know you have stuff you have to do tonight, so we'll go ahead and end it. Any last thoughts, you guys? Do you think Kilroy is just going to go down in the flames?
No, I think it'll probably happen in some form.
Kilroy is dead. Sargon of Akkad is guilty. He knew about the server. He enabled Kraut. That's my.
I think that Kilroy at this point in time hinges on a single individual. That's Styx.
Ooh,
If Styx sticks with it, Kilroy, at least the event, this single event will take place. How big it is and how successful it is will determine whether or not it continues. Now, that could be a positive thing, that could be a negative thing. If Styx decides he's not going, if he pulls out, then Kilroy's dead.
Yeah, I think I can agree with that assessment. I do like the add one last thing before you go ahead and end it, 40. Since when is fucking Sargon of Akkad Kraut's dad? Why does he have to follow him around and make sure he doesn't dox people?
No, I saw that on Twitter as well. Apparently, they're trying to say that Sargon of Akkad knew about Kraut's server.
Yeah. I fucking doubt that.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous to even think that he would even know about it. Yeah. But on that note, thank you again, 40, for hosting the Redeye tonight. Go ahead and end the show, sir.
Maybe I won't end the show. Maybe I'll keep it running. I'm just kidding. We'll end it.